All right, here we are. Ironman Wisconsin post-race analysis. Going to start by saying it's just incredible to actually make it to the start line. So we're supposed to be at Ironman Mount Tremblant, and that got canceled due to COVID. And we're able to switch to a race in the U.S. And it was touch and go as to whether we're actually going to make it, but we did, and made it to the start line. So feel extremely privileged to be able to do that with everything that's been going on. So a little different. Had to fly here, so there was the challenges of flying with a bike, and it was pretty smooth. That worked real well. Kind of got in on the Thursday before the race. Would have liked to come in a day earlier, I think, to be able to spend a little bit more time on the course, getting the bike set up, that type of thing. And then the night before, so Saturday night, normal kind of food, everything felt great. Got 6 hours worth of sleep on Saturday night before the race, so that's good. And race morning, up about 3:30, ate oats and a banana, and then headed to the shuttle to take us down to the race. Got on the shuttle just around 5 o'clock, down there about 5:30, set everything up. Big transition. They ran both the full and the 70.3, so lots and lots of athletes were there. Crazy busy, unbelievably busy. Transition was on top of a parking garage, so that was massive. So transitions were slow, but we'll get to that in a second. So anyway, so on to the race. Swim. We didn't get in the water the day before, unfortunately, but we're in the water in the morning. The day before, it was a pancake, and the day of the race, it was not. It was quite choppy. And it's a 2-loop race, so was definitely nervous for sure getting into the water. I went in the 1:30 to 1:40 time frame, and got in the water, I think, about 7:15. Water temperature was 72, so not too bad at all. And it was a 2-loop swim. And the first kind of out piece was real tough. You're swimming head on into waves. So that was a good way to get started. It made it a little bit easier to try and relax, actually. And then straight down the back end, so you're being hit by side waves. And then you turn back down, and that was the easiest part because waves were behind you. And then you come back across the front, and that water was very choppy. It's a lake wall, so the waves come in, hit the wall, and come back out. So really choppy through there, and lots of people in the water. It was a full contact sport out there, so I'd never been banged and pushed and shoved, and hadn't banged, pushed, and shoved as much as I ever have in this race, for sure. So swim finished at 1:28, 1 hour 28 minutes, and I'm really pleased with that swim given the conditions. I thought when I got out maybe just a little bit quicker than that. Had a little bit of cramping in the calves near the end of the swim, but all in all, really pleased with that swim. And then you run up a 4-story parking garage around what they call a helix. So very long transition, did not change. I took the wetsuit off, put the helmet on, socks and shoes, and out on the bike. And at that point, I thought, hey, you know what, things are going well. If I can, kind of manage my power, keep that power around 120, 150, 160, something like that, and I can bang off a 610 bike, I felt that was in really good shape. However, the bike course is incredibly tough. You probably have 8-10K before you can get any kind of passing going, because you're going down a bike path and lots of turns, and it's very technical and very rough. So I found it really tough to get any kind of great speed going and maintaining that speed. So it's a lollipop type thing. So you got on the stick about 16 miles, and then 2 40-mile loops and back around. And it was relentless. There's no other way to explain it. It was about 2,000 meters worth of climbing on the Garmin, and it's up and down all day long. Some longer descents, but nothing I would call major. 3 good longer climbs on the with 1 good steep climb with each loop. Crowd support was unbelievable. The long steep climb, 5 deep, all the way up both sides, just so that kind of helps you get to the top, for sure. But also very, very rough. Quite sore this morning through the neck and through the shoulders. The bike took a beating big time. So, with that, it really increases your fatigue. And then the wind and the rain came out. And it was quite windy, quite a headwind for a good portion of the ride, especially on the second loop. And then the rain. So, a lot slower on the bike. 6:47. I was trying to be 6:10, kind of 6 on a perfect day, but I think I probably could ride 6 on that. Swim before is impactful a little bit, but definitely the weather and the road surface it took it all out of me, to be quite honest with you. Came back, I got up, through transition again, did a long transition, did a clothing change, put the running shoes on, a little bit of water, and I think, just to go back to the bike, I think I hit the nutrition quite well. Probably need a little bit more variety. I don't think I want to see organic gummy or Cliff Bar anytime soon. And then out to the run. First hour, 11K kind of thing, broaching 12K, I felt great. And again, fan base is just unbelievable, and I really, really, truly enjoyed. My pace that I was running at was good. The experience was good, and 8K, and I'm thinking, geez, I can 4+ hour marathon here. And then got to just quite a part of the run, and I wouldn't say I hit a wall, but just got to some really dark places. Really tough, really, really tough. Tried to kind of run a shuffle, if you will, except the 8 stations, walked through the 8 stations, did that for most of the rest of the first lap. And then out on the second lap, I started off, I did special needs on the run, new socks, Vaseline, that type of stuff. Started off okay, maybe 4 or 5K, and then just, again, really tough. Ended up meeting up with a guy named Bill in a very similar place. So we kind of chatted a little bit, got to the next aid station, a little bit of chicken broth, felt a little bit better, and then we finished the rest of the marathon together. He was a first timer, at least for the full. So that was great. We literally got each other through the rest of this race, and it was tough. It was a tough marathon. 6 plus. My Garmin says it was under 6. Ironman said it was just over 6. So, obviously there's lots of work to do. From a mental perspective, I think. Today. And then the finish line was incredible. Totally different experience on the second one. Took everything in just a whole different level, and just a real sense of accomplishment on this one. Not being able to swim on the first one, being able to swim on this one was really important. Having Mike Riley there to call my name was also incredible. Just absolutely incredible. So really, overall, really good experience today. Some chafing in certain places. Got some here too. So I think the kit that I wore, that's more of the zipper. So that's something to take a look at. And I don't feel too bad. Obviously I'm tired. A lot of stiffness and soreness through the neck and through the shoulders from the bike and the punishing ride. And then just legs, obviously sore. Feet are a little bit sore. I was managing a hamstring injury going into this. I didn't run a ton the last, 3 or 4 weeks up to this, kind of 5K, 2 or 3 times a week. That was it. And I think not necessarily a bad thing. I think there's something to be learned there by decreasing that running that way. But it really showed up on the bike. If you take a look at my power distribution left and right on the bike, you can really see that I'm favoring big time on the bike on that right side. And obviously I think that was impactful to the ride that I had as well. So I'll leave it at that. That's almost 10-minute video, which is long for me. But would I do this race again? Maybe. We'll see. I've got one more I'm doing for sure, and there's a couple of halves that I'd like to do as well, but not sure where. My third one will not be here. I think it's a great race. It's an unbelievable race. The community support is incredible. It's a beautiful city. It's tough. If you want a tough Ironman, this is the one to do. but they're all tough in their own ways. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. And thank you, Madison. Had a great time.